Che has spoke about this subject before, which is the fact, or at least as far as allegations are concerned, I use the word alleged, that Epstein has been very closely linked to both the US and a very powerful country in the Middle East. And he's had some kind of relationship. Now, this has come up in him being on panel debates, on some of his own TYT shows, on many occasions, although I believe with the new revelations coming to the fore, with the release of these documents, these thousands and thousands of pieces of documents, photos, redacted text, the statement by the American Congressman, Massey, it kind of, some would say, bolsters his point of view. So that's just give you a little bit of background to go with the video, very short video remix of a TYT, one of their stories I posted yesterday. So hopefully there'll be more context thrown into the whole mix in this video. So let's get into it.
Did he have an American flag pin? That implies that he represents our country.
Yeah, it's weird.
Seems dishonest. But anyway, we've been covering some of the fascinating revelations from Dropsite News for some time. And the latest has to do with newly uncovered ties between Jeffrey Epstein and the Wexner Foundation. So this is a charitable organization that, among other things, uses its vast resources to support the Israeli government. And so here's some background on the organization. I wouldn't expect that you'd be very familiar with it. I wasn't previously. Leslie Wexner, the named individual behind the organization, is an American billionaire with, as many billionaires have had, close ties to Jeffrey Epstein himself. He ran businesses including Victoria's Secret and Bath and Body Works. Epstein was actually his financial manager for 20 years. So they go back for a very long time. And he wasn't just like a financial guy. He was in very good with Wexner. He had complete power of attorney over his estate and affairs. That is a vote of legal confidence of Jeffrey Epstein there. Wexner even sold Epstein one of his homes. So maybe there's like a weird friend thing going on between them as well. Interestingly, as early as the mid-1990s, at least two of Wexner's fellow executives were warning him that it was strange that Jeffrey Epstein was so interested in serving as a recruiter for models for Victoria's Secret. Yeah, that is a little bit strange. That's a little bit interesting and very much in line with what we know about Jeffrey Epstein. Wexner did nothing in regard to that. Either it didn't bother him or there were other reasons he didn't want to do anything that Epstein wouldn't like. But in any event, the foundation is a vehicle for his philanthropic efforts. And we do know some information about Jeffrey Epstein's involvement in that as well. So there was a review done months after Epstein died of the organization. And the review claimed that Wexner Foundation staff had no contact with Epstein after his resignation as a trustee way back in September 2007. And before that, he played no role in the management or administration of the foundation's operations, had no meaningful role in the foundation's budget or finances, and did not make decisions regarding the use of foundation's funds. It turns out that that was a lie. Every bit of that was 100% a lie. Staff apparently treated him as a de facto chief financial officer, making major decisions about taxes, lines of credit, 8-figure funds transfers, politically sensitive grants. All of that went through Epstein's lawyer and required Epstein's personal approval. There are a number of emails where Wexner's financial controller, Peg Ugland, wrote to Darren Indyke, who served as both Epstein's personal lawyer and attorney for the foundation, with account balances for a web of Wexner entities, including charitable trusts, private investment vehicles, personal trading accounts, with a recurring refrain, "Please ask Jeffrey if I can transfer," which is about as direct as it could possibly be. And yet they found no control, no influence he had over the organization. So what was the foundation doing with its money? Well, apparently between 2003 and 2018, Inside Philanthropy tallied nearly $130 million donated by the Wexners to Israeli and Jewish charitable causes, making them the third largest donor to such causes in the US during that period. It did things like funding all expense paid birthright and Hillel trips and bankrolling a variety of different fellowships like the Wexner Israel Fellowship, which sent Israeli government officials to Harvard on full scholarships. And so all the charitable stuff might be all well and good, totally fine, but Epstein was involved with it apparently for many years in a very direct and controlling financial sense.
Yeah, so this is in effect the largest charity of pro-Israel causes in America. By the way, a couple of interesting conclusions come out of these revelations that I did not know before. So first of all, I didn't know if Wexner was in on it or if he was a victim, because he gives Epstein power of attorney over all of his finances decades ago, which is a stunning move especially for a guy this rich. That's the kind of thing you do usually only under duress, right? So I thought, did he blackmail Wexner, and Wexner's not in on it, but he had to go along, etc. But when you read the emails, no, Wexner's totally I'm not saying he's in on it in terms of the crimes. I'm saying him and Epstein are very good friends, very friendly. When Epstein gets caught, he's super sad, and he's like, "Oh, you violated your number one rule, which is not getting caught." Okay, wait. If they're all innocent, why is that your number one rule? Okay, that seems kind of like a confession. So Wexner is involved in these proceedings, okay? Number two interesting thing that I didn't know, one of their top targets is young Jews in America. They got to get them to Israel, and they got to give them propaganda that is pro-Israel. Like, remember, if you're Jewish, you have to support this government, that government, right? Like, if you think about it, no, you don't. I'm Turkish, I don't have to support the Turkish government, right? But there's constant money flowing in to get young Jewish Americans, Israel. That's your real home. That's who you should have loyalty to. It's really sick. So now, when you, and by the way, Victoria's Secret, women in undress, etc. The other thing that Wexner ran was Abercrombie and Fitch. If you remember the controversies we've covered in these years about them, they use really young kids in different states of undress, right?
Yeah.
And so it's apparently a theme, all right? But he made a ton of money, and they used it, all of it, to help Israel. Right, when it comes to the philanthropy part. And was Epstein involved in that? Well, as John read to you, and you read the whole thing, and we'll put the link for Dropsite News, who's doing great reporting on this issue in the description box. And you see that, as Epstein has to approve almost all the financial transactions. So he's directing it, he's making the decisions. So he's like, all right, we're gonna help Israel this way, we're gonna help Israel that way, we're gonna take the money and funnel it to pro-Israel causes like this. So the idea that Epstein's not connected to Israel is hilarious. He's not running a pro-Paraguay charity, right? He's not looking to help the Vietnamese. In every email, it's Israel. What do we do for Israel? How can we help Israel, right? So if you're thinking, okay, that's hyperbole, and it is to some degree, because it's not every email, right? But it is overwhelming in the emails. So I'll give you a quick list, if you don't mind. So how is Epstein connected? This is through all the different Dropsite News stories and others that came out. Well, Epstein helped negotiate a security agreement between Israel and Mongolia. Epstein helped arrange a meeting between former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak and Vladimir Putin in 2013. Epstein helped establish a security meeting between Israel and the Ivory Coast in 2014. Epstein repeatedly hosted an Israeli spy at his Manhattan residency from 2013 to 2016. Epstein attempted to procure investments for Israeli cyber weapon startups. I mean, he's even procuring weapons for Israel. Epstein helped Alan Dershowitz attack the authors of the Israel lobby. Epstein exerted control over the Wexner Foundation, which funded pro-Israel causes. So, and that's just some of the material. And when and one of the things that we're leaving out of that list is the emails where he's strategizing about how to get America to attack Syria on behalf of Israel, and other emails where he talks about how to get America to attack Iran on behalf of Israel. Now, if you say things, now it's totally proven. If you said Israel wanted to manipulate America into attacking Iran, in mainstream media, they'll say you're a conspiracy theorist and an anti-Semite, and you should never be allowed to speak in media again, right? But it's already proven. It wasn't like he's like, all right, well, there's a deal with Mongolia and and Holland and Ivory Coast and Holland. I mean, if you take out Israel, put in any other country, everyone would be talking about that country, right? Imagine if Epstein, all of his connections were to China. Do you think that no one would mention that?
Yeah.
Like literally everyone would mention that, right? If all of his connections were to Russia, would no one mention that? He'd be like, shh, 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 don't talk about the Russians. Don't talk about the Chinese. We wouldn't want to offend them. But it's about Israel. And the entire so-called news media is working together to block the news. Isn't that amazing? They're not in the news business. They're in the propaganda business. And so that's why independent reporting makes so much difference. And John, I want to now connect it back to Huckabee, right? So Huckabee says, oh, golly gee, it's so conspiratorial and crazy to say that Epstein might have been connected to Israel. Right? So we know he's a sellout bitch.
By the way, do take the time if you can to leave a comment, your perspective, your point of view in the comment sections. And if you're new to the channel, hit the bell icon and please subscribe. Before we depart, I'd just like to say smalldebts.co.uk, they do a very good job if you're being harassed and hassled and you need somebody to jump in your corner, whether you're accused of owing money and maybe you're perfectly in the right within that particular problem that you are getting very stressed by, or you're owed money yourself, be it a rent deposit you're trying to get repatriated to your account or anything else, any kind of online activity, smalldebts.co.uk, they're definitely the ones who can step into your corner and take those stresses away for you. So check out the video. Their information's in the description.
Need an accounts team without the hiring costs? Small Debts provides full service invoicing and credit control, managing everything from invoice submission to reminders and follow-ups. We can send emails from your domain or ours. Let Small Debts keep the cash flow rolling whilst you focus on growing the business.
Look them up. And that's about it for tonight's brief show. Just like to thank you again for spending some time with myself, Only Radiating here at Corner Speak. As per usual, be good, be safe, and be creative if you can. I'm out.